Okay, people, in this video, we're going to look at a command called grep, right? This is a very popular command with a lot of people, especially a lot of people who want to try to find information about things in the system. Grep will look inside a file, look for a specific pattern. In other words, when I say pattern, is a combination of letters and so forth. So let's start off first. Man grep. Let's take a, whoops, I'm not inside. Let me just get back in here. Let's go man grep. All right. Grep will search for a pattern and or file here. So if I go down this man pages here, I just want to jump to the options here. Okay, there are certain options here. Basically, count of the lines that contain the pattern. So I could use a concept here called grep, and I can go grep dash C, all right, and then go string file. In other words, I will look for something, and it will give me the count of the letter here. There is another one here that I want to, and I'm going to put this here, grep dash I, and dash I stands for ignoring upper lowercase. In other words, it ignores whatever there is in a specific file here, okay, for a file here. All right, so let me just continue on down this stuff here. Okay, dash N, right, can give me its line number. Okay, so let me do this. Grep dash N shows me a line number in the search. Okay, dash I ignores upper lowercase, right? And dash C gives me a count, okay, of the things in here. So again, if I come down here, these are the commands that are really important. Oh, by the way, dash V prints all the lines except that contain the pattern. In other words, verbose prints all the opposite lines, right? But let's just leave that alone here. Okay, so in other words, there's a whole bunch more here, things of concepts that you can do here. All right, so dash C, and you look into the usage thing, the dash C, the dash L, and Q are exclusive. In other words, Q overrides and stuff like this, whatever Q stands for, and everything else here. Okay, now there's some examples, finding all examples of a word here. All right, here they're using grep dash I dash N, the word POSIX in a text file. All right, that's the example here. All right, and then depending on what you want to see, these are all the examples that you can look at here, and finding lines with matching strings and so forth. Grep is a really powerful tool, right? So let me just quit out of here, and let's go clear. Let me go PWD. Where am I? I'm in root. No, I don't want to do that. So let's go to Bill's home. PWD. All right, I'm in home. ls-l. Okay. Now, there's a whole bunch of files in here and everything else. There's folders, there's directories, and there's a bunch of garbage and gobbledygook in here. So let me look at this. Let's say I want to find in here, I want to look for all the files, all the words, all the lines inside a file. Okay, inside a file. So in other words, I'm going to go grep, and I'm going to look to see if there's anything, the string that has two zeros together, two O's together, all right? Which I doubt there is anything, but that's okay. And I'm going to look in the file called goop, okay? And I press enter, and basically inside that file called goop, there was gobbledygook, more gobbledygook, still more gobbledygook, and goop. So in other words, it had the two O's, right? Let's go a little bit deeper here. I'm still looking for the two O's. And by the way, people ask, can I put this inside quotes? Single quotes. You see, it still gives me the same result, all right? Some people think putting things inside single quotes helps identify that this is what I'm looking for here. I'm now going to put this line in, dash I, to ignore upper and lowercase letters. And I also want to put a dash N. And that gives me the number of lines. Okay? I press enter. It tells me in the file called goop, there is line 1 has gobbledygook, line 2 has gobbledygook, line 3 has more still gobbledygook, and you got the idea. So it gives me the line information. Now, basically everything was in lowercase letters, so it didn't have to do the ignore and everything else in here. Okay? Let's do the exact same fault line, but let's look in a different folder called txt, because I know there is a full file there called txt. And lo and behold, there's the information in it here, which probably I just copied. I did a copy of the stuff here. That's why it was. Okay? Let's do another one. I'm going to go clear screen. And instead of goop, let's look to see if there's anything inside let me do this. Okay? ls-l, so you guys can get them. And I'm not going to look for the 2-letter O in goop. I'm going to look in the folder called, the file called stuff. All right? And of course, I may have the same information inside of the file called stuff here. So I could copy this stuff here. I could take a look at it here and see anything else that I wanted here. I can try this. Instead of the 2 O's, right? Let's say just the letter T. And I'll put a single quote. Oops. Keyboard's acting funny. In a file called stuff. Right? And there's the letter T. Still more, still more. So, in other words, I'm using this as to be able to find a specific concept. All right? But the idea here is when I'm finding files, it's just in, a specific folder. Can I go and see everything? People ask, can I do this? What if I just put grep-i-n t and not specify a file? What happens? And guys, you see my cursor is sitting back there and it's just that solid bar. In other words, technically my system is being hung. I'm going to hit Control C to exit out of it. In other words, it's searching. The command that you gave it was not complete. Can I use a wildcard? Star. And I press enter. What will happen? And star basically looked in every file that I had inside of it. In other words, it needed the complete string. So in other words, I could use the command right here. I was going grep, okay, and I did whatever it was that I needed, whatever options I have. Okay, I'm going to ignore that for now. Inside the single, I put T, and then I put the star to indicate everything. And you'll notice, and guys, I'm going to clear my screen. Oops. And this time I'm going to do the same command, but I'm going to pipe it to more. So in other words, I get one page listing here. So in the file, okay, in copy, all right, it's looking for the stuff in copy list here. And, there's a whole bunch of different lines and stuff that it found. Is all this data inside copy list? Yeah, copy list, remember, I did it a long time ago. I did some command and I redirected it to the file. So there's all that stuff. So I go through there and look at all these things. And basically you will find the letter T in that line someplace. Okay? Now, let me continue on again here. And I'm just going to go space bar, all right? And then copy list again, space bar, copy list. Because this copy list was a big file. And really, when you look at it, there's so much data here that you're going to, sit down here. And then we go to the file called goop. And in goop, there is line 3, still more. Line 4, still more. In the file goop.txt, line 3, still more, grouped up. And then finally in the stuff file. But you'll notice it didn't look at anything and go any further. In other words, it only looked at the files in the current directory. It did not go into subdirectories. All right? Now, this is the difference between Unix and Linux. And depending upon the flavor, if you want to do a search for files and look inside subdirectories, the generic is -R for recursive. Okay, so I'm going to do this, grep -I-R, right? And every file I'm going to pipe into that. But I'm going to put in the recursive -R for now, which in a lot of other places, it works. Illegal option. It doesn't like -R. Okay, maybe it doesn't like the -. Let me put in a lowercase r, see what happens. Illegal option. People in Ubuntu, you could use grep with a -R. In the traditional Unix, Solaris, the -R does not work. However, there is an updated version of grep called grep. And grep is like R. grep is like grep, right? But allows the -R recursive search for looking in the subdirectories. So if I go here, all right, and I'm going to do this, -R, I'm going to try R, and I'm just going to rename this to grep. Okay. Now there is an egrep and an fgrep, but I always go to grep here. You can do the research on these things here. Now you'll look. This is, so far everything is the same. It's in copy list, no problem. Let me kick a page. All right, more copy list. Right, no problem. Because basically I did that with grep. Right, there's more copy, and there's more stuff like that here. But now look down, and you will see here that the file group, line 3, file group, line 4. But now you look in the folder group, capital G, right over here. The folder G, there is a file inside of there, line 3, and there is a folder group with another line 4. Okay, so in other words, now I'm looking inside subfolders, subdirectories. And you'll notice the same thing happened here. Stuff is a file in my home folder. And then there is a folder called capital S, which is a subdirectory. So in other words, now it looked in the directory and found what I was looking for, and it looked in stuff. Okay, so simplistically put, grep looks for something either in a specific file or in a specific place. You have different options. -I to ignore capital lowercase letters. Give the number lines. I like doing the number lines because that way it always tells me how far down I got to find it here. All right. I could use grep with a wildcard here, but now I could use grep to do a recursive. And if I use the command in grep, what it is this, grep, whatever options I may want to use, and I'm just going to put this saying in parentheses, for example, -I, -N, -R, because I use the recursive here, and then whatever string I want to look for, whatever pattern, I'm going to type the word pattern in here. It's a letter pattern, it could be numerical pattern too, right? And then I could either put in the, I usually put in the wildcard here. and that wildcard is star. So a specific example of this that I would be looking at would be grep -I -N. I like the -N. I like the ignoring. -R to be recursive, to look inside every subdirectory. And I could say look for things like 1, 2, 3, if there is a file in here, and then look everywhere. Okay? And that will give me an idea of using grep. The way to effectively do this is to create a file, a directory inside of this stuff here, and then be able to look for things. All right. So in Bill, I'm going to create some very simple things here. Okay, let me go clear. Oops, I got to be inside of here. All right. I'm going to create. Let's just look again. ls-l. I'm going to make a file. All right. And I'm going to use nano. There's other commands that you could do. All right. So I'm just going to go nano, and I'm going to create a file that says apples. And you know, please notice capital A. Apple pie. All right. Banana. I think I spelled it right here. And pine apple. Okay. That's specifically there. All right. So I'm going to call this Control X to exit. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to call this fruit 1. Okay. Now again, let me pop to the top here, ls-l. So you see there is a file there called fruit1. I'm now going to create a directory. Make dir, okay, and I'm going to call this fruits, capital F, please note. All right, change the directory to fruits, nano, and I'm going to create more fruits. I'm going to put strawberry, kiwi, and I'm using a combination of capital letters here. Raspberry, okay, and let's see now, blueberry, and apple pear. I don't know whether apple pear is one word or not, but we're going to put an apple pear here. Okay, Control X. Right? Yes, I want to save this, and I'm going to call this fruits 2. Okay, clear. CD back to tilde pwd, and that's where I am, and ls-l. All right, so now you see there is a, I'll get this right over here, there is a fruit, and there is directory. And inside fruits, there's another folder. That I know. So now, let's do this. Find dot. Okay? And basically, it gives me my full directory showing. It shows all the files, fruit, which is in basically the folder. And then there's a directory called fruits. Sorry, fruit1, fruits, and inside fruits, there's a folder. All right? So people always ask, can I get a very fast directory listing? Yes, here it is. Right? It doesn't show like a true tree with lines and so forth, but you can basically look at this. You can follow the concept here. So that's what I've got here. Now let's do a grep. If I do grep, and I'm doing the search for the string, all right, apple, all right, and I'm going to go ignore capitalization. I'm going to give the number line, and I'm looking for the concept of apple. Notice lowercase letters, all right? So it's just going to look for the word apple. And because I didn't finish my syntax line, I pressed enter, I get this here thing saying the system basically is confused. I'm going to Control C to break it. Now hold the Control key down and see. Now, let me look at this. Instead of the file, I'm going to look inside every folder or every file. And you'll notice it only looks in files that are in my home directory as is. It doesn't go looking deeper into subfolders. So in other words, you'll notice the -I gives a perfect example of ignoring, apples, pineapple, and apple. I found the whole word apple. Anything in apple, found that syntax, apple. And the star basically, everywhere. Let's now look at, because I can't do that, let me just change this to grep. And I know there's at least one word somewhere else. Okay? And because I want to keep on going, I want to look in subdirectories, I put the -R. Right? And guys, be aware that sometimes capital R and lowercase r in different commands will do different things. Right? It's always good to check your man pages for this. Now you look at it, you will see that in the file called fruits, line 1 is apples. Fruit, line 2, fruit 1 is apple pie. Line 4 is pineapple. And in the directory called fruits, inside a file called fruits2, at line 5 is the word apple pear. All right? So very important. Grep will look for words or a combination of letters, what syntax, whatever the letter string is, inside a specific file or inside a series of files. And using the grep, you could even be recursive and look for everything inside that section or that directory, including all subdirectories. Keep in mind, you will only get results with files and folders that you have permission to view. Practice with it. Try it. Play around with these things. The more you do it, the better you get an understanding of how powerful grep is.